Narcissists love to surround themselves with people who ignore their behavior, defend their behavior, tolerate their behavior, and excuse their behavior. Anybody who tries to hold a narcissist accountable for the things that they do will be gaslit, invalidated, and then the narcissist will run a smear campaign against this person. If you try to hold a narcissist accountable for the things that they have done, you will become public enemy number one. Narcissists do not tolerate being criticized, being wrong, being held accountable, and being presented with evidence of their wrongdoings. Anyone who tries to stand up to the narcissist not only has to face the narcissist, but also has to face all of the enablers.
Welcome, beautiful butterflies. You've landed in Narc-free Nirvana. I'm Goddess, your guide on this journey from survival to sacred power. Today, we're peeling back the veil on the mind games narcissists play, from gaslighting and triangulation to future faking and guilt tripping. These aren't just bad habits. They are strategic tactics used to control, confuse, and consume. I lived through the manipulation, smiling on the outside while unraveling within. But here, we name it to reclaim it. You are safe here, and you are seen here. Let your wings unfold.
Let's talk about Darvo. When you approach a narcissist with your pain and you come up to them and speak to them about it, this is what they're going to do. Darvo stands for deny, attack, reverse victim, and offend. And it sounds like this. Deny. I never did that. What are you even talking about? That never even happened. Attack. You looked at my phone? Or you talked to my friends? Who the hell do you think you are? That's so fucking disrespectful. Reverse victim. You're so insensitive. I mean, I'm going through a lot in my life, and I'm trying so hard. You don't even see it. You don't appreciate me. You don't appreciate anything that I do. I just feel so unseen and unheard. I can't continue like this. It's just too much for me. Offend. Oh, fuck you. You know what? You're so fucking disrespectful and insensitive. I am way too fucking good for you. You know that? You are at the bottom, and I am up here. So if you want a good relationship, well then step the fuck up and do what it is that you gotta do in order to make that happen. Because right now, you're doing nothing except complaining and wasting everybody's time, especially mine. Let's make something clear. When you approach someone that supposedly loves you with your pain, it's not supposed to end up in an argument. And the difference between a narcissist and someone who's just oblivious is that when you present the facts, when you present evidence and proof to a narcissist, they will double down, they will deny harder, and they will shift blame very fast. Whereas an oblivious person, when they're introduced with the facts and especially evidence, they'll end up saying, you know what, shit, you caught me, I'm sorry, my bad. A narcissist will never do that. Taking true accountability for the actual abuse that they are doing to you, it will never happen. Don't wait for it.
Why do victims of narcissistic abuse almost all wonder if they're the narcissist? Narcissists are skilled at playing the victim. They use a range of tactics to create this perception, and here's 5 of them. Number 1, blaming the victim. They blame you for their behavior. This creates guilt and shame in the victim. Number 2, gaslighting. The narcissist denies and minimizes their own behavior, and then they accuse the victim of being overly sensitive or overly emotional. Number 3, projection. They project their own negative traits and behaviors onto their victims, and this makes the victim feel like they're the ones with the problem. Number 4, playing the victim. A narcissist will portray themselves as the victim when they're the perpetrator. They'll do things anywhere from exaggerating to straight up fabricating events. They do this to make themselves seem like the one who's been mistreated, abused, or victimized. And number 5, distorting reality. This involves lying, withholding information, and straight up rewriting history. And they do this to suit their own narrative. Almost all victims of narcissistic abuse wonder at one point or another, am I the narcissist? Am I the problem? Now, as an aside, reactive abuse, and I hate that term, is also something that is used to make the victim feel like they're the perpetrator of abuse. Reactive abuse is really just a reaction to being abused. Maybe you screamed, yelled, hit them. Now, none of these are okay, but they're understandable if you've experienced it yourself. I heard this recently, and I honestly can't remember where, but if a cat corners a mouse and the mouse bites the cat, do we blame the mouse? Another example I've seen is a can of pop. If you shake a can of pop and then it explodes, do you blame the pop or the person who shook the can? Narcissistic abuse is covert, it's insidious, and narcissists are master manipulators. They're con artists. Over time, it's honestly not that difficult for them to convince their victims that they're the actual perpetrators. It's very difficult, but you've got to stay in reality.
Reactive abuse is like the narcissist's get out of jail free card. Because if they can push you and push you and push you and abuse you until you finally react like a cornered wild animal, then they get to flip the script, sit back, calm down usually, and tell you that you're the problem. And now, in their mind, they have evidence in their distorted reality. And it's so hard because it's such an effective way of gaslighting a highly empathetic person. Get them to act wildly out of character, lose it, and then hold a mirror up and say, wow, look at you. The reality is that reactive abuse is really a reaction to abuse. It's not abuse, but it's one of the narcissist's favorite weapons, one of the narcissist's favorite tools to control the narrative. And they will use your reaction to their abuse as a rationalization and a justification for literally anything in order for them to be able to avoid accountability. And as always, keep the spotlight on you and your behavior so that you don't ever actually get to sit back and look at what they're doing to you. And they just love to push you to a point of such desperation that they get you to act so wildly out of character, out of desperation, so that they can then utilize this moment that they've actually carefully, insidiously curated to continue to bring up. And they especially love to push you into reacting like this and then getting out their mobile phone and filming you. Let me know in the comments if you've experienced this. And if you're new here, I'm a narcissistic abuse educator and a narcissistic relationship recovery coach. Make sure you hit follow and you can book a session with me through the link in my bio.
Imagine a motherfucker playing in your face, right? Whole time they only objective is to get you to stoop to the level that they at. Like they want you to react to all the shit that they doing just so they could point the finger at you and be like, damn, you finally did some shit. Look at what you did. And they only gonna bring up your reaction. They're not gonna bring up the fact that they triggered you. They're not gonna bring up the fact that you tried to nip that shit in the bud. You tried to prevent it. Any type of situation where it's weird or it's about to turn to an argument, you put your 2 cents in and let it know, look, I don't want it to go here, but they still kept picking at you until you finally blew the fuck up. You might have blew the fuck, I'm not even saying you put your hands on them, you might have cussed them out. And now they want to point the finger at you like, damn, look what you did. Nah, I told you stop messing with me, stop picking at me. And finally, when you react, now they finally get the victory that they was looking for. That's why you can't react. You just gotta, okay, yeah. I heard what you said. Yeah, I heard you. You got to agree with that shit. Because if not, as soon as you react, you ain't never going to hear the end of it. Now they always got a situation where they can point the finger at you and say, look at what you did. And that's what they want you to do. They'll be passive aggressive towards you the whole time, the whole day. Picking at you, picking at you, picking at you. And as soon as you react, you lost. That's what a narcissist want to do. They want to put you in that bind to where you get that reaction, to where you feel like you them. But don't let them play with your mind. Don't let them play with your reality. What that's called is reactive abuse. And that's one of their favorite things to do to people. Talk about their reaction, but not the action that caused the reaction.
You're not crazy, you're not overreacting, you're just being gaslit. But how do you know in the moment when they're being so convincing? How do you know that you're being gaslit? Well, luckily it always follows the same pattern, and I'm gonna teach it to you so you can recognize it and you never fall into that trap again. When you accuse someone innocent of something they didn't do, the first thing they reach for is the receipts, the proof, the evidence that what they're saying is true. They will immediately de-escalate the situation because it serves them to do so. They know the truth, they can prove it, conversation over. But when you're dealing with a gaslighter, they don't have the truth. So the first thing they reach for is a grenade. They need to create a diversion, so they will immediately escalate the conversation. That is the first sign to look out for. A sudden emotional escalation designed to throw you off. The second thing to look out for, they'll throw that grenade at you. Suddenly the conversation becomes about your reactions instead of their actions. They need the focus on you. It can't be on them. If you look too closely at them, you'll notice huge holes in their story, and they've got no evidence or excuses for what they did. So they're going to create a big diversion and throw this flash bomb at you. Let's look at you. Let's look at how you acted tonight. You overreacted. You were crazy. You were out of control. And they're doing all of that to get you feeling insecure and unsure and doubtful so they can prepare you for their specialty. The third thing to look out for, the Uno reverse. Suddenly they're the victim and you're the villain. Oh, all of a sudden in this moment, they have so many grievances. They're so sensitive. You made them feel bad for what they did to you. You accused them, you attacked them, you were out of control, you really overreacted, you were really crazy, you made them feel terrible, and they're going to guilt trip you so hard that you end up apologizing to them for what they did to you. Sound familiar? Now, if you never, ever, ever want to be in that position again, here is what you do. You are going to re-watch this video as many times as you need to so that these patterns become so familiar to you, you recognize them instantly. The second someone fucking tries to pull this tactic out of their dusty ass narcissist textbook, you clock it, you recognize it, you don't get sucked into the trap, and you don't play their little game. Stay safe out there, kids.
Future faking is a manipulative tactic often used by narcissists where they make grand promises about the future, such as marriage, buying a house, starting a business together, or changing their behavior with no real intention of following through. It's designed to create emotional dependency and keep you invested in the relationship. Distract you from present red flags or mistreatment. Buy time or avoid accountability when you're starting to question or challenge them. The goal is not to build a real future, but to control your present actions by dangling hope. It's ultimately emotional abuse that trades on your dreams and trust.
So this is going to be a visual representation of guilt tripping, gaslighting, as well as weaponizing information. So let's say that you express to someone that you like smoothies, but then you also express to them that you're allergic to milk or something and you literally can't have milk in your smoothies. Someone, maybe a parent, a significant other, someone who says they care about you in your life, makes you this. And they're like, la 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 la, and they go to give it to you. They probably spill along the way. And you're like, oh my God, it's so beautiful. Did you use milk just to be sure? Because like sensitivities, and they're like, yes. And I also used other ingredients. And then you go, well, I can't have it. And then they go, what? I spent so much time. I'm so thoughtful. I made this for you and you're not gonna have it? Well, I'd love to, but I can't because there's milk. And I told you that, but you don't listen to me. So now what? Well, what am I supposed to do with this? There's extra. What am I supposed to pour it out? What am I supposed to do with it? I don't know. But regardless, I can't have it. Thanks for the thought. I can't have it. And then if their response to all of that is, I just can't believe this. Like, I really cannot believe this. Like, what am I supposed to have? I guess I'll have the smoothie. Like, I guess I'll just have the smoothie. Okay, that's fine. But, man. None of that's like allowed or acceptable, in case that wasn't very clear. Your information is something that you get to share with whoever you want to. And if you share your information with someone, they should be able to retain it, particularly if it's important to your overall well-being. And if they can't retain that information, that's not your fault. It's not your fault. And that information should not be used against you to make you feel bad for something that you can't participate in because you already told them you can't.
Let me tell you a secret about narcissistic rage. And of course, if you're new here, I'm actually a diagnosed narcissist. The thing about narcissistic rage, being on the receiving end of it, is the fact that it might not be about you. They could be angry about something else or someone else that is going on in their life. We all know, I think most people understand, that narcissistic people, like myself, have trouble expressing our emotions in a healthy way. So we bury them down deep. We suppress them. And what we don't realize is that we're not burying our emotions, we're planting them. So if I have trouble expressing anger or sadness earlier in the day with someone else, and I buried that emotion, I planted, it grows into something that it doesn't need to be. Like, so if I bury or plant that emotion, it grows into rage and it comes out on my friends or my family members, the people close to me, the people who don't deserve it, right? And the same can be true with good emotions, y'all. Bad things grow in the dark. If you bury these emotions down in a deep, dark place, they're going to turn into something bad. They're going to turn into narcissistic rage and shame and all of the other stuff. Like, narcissistic rage requires a cool, damp environment. That sound like the environment where mold grows the worst there, right? Cool and damp. That's where mold spores that's where they grow the worst there, right? They grow the best, I guess. The rage that you're experiencing from this narcissistic person might not even be about you. They planted this emotion from earlier and it grew into this toxic ass narcissistic rage plant, and they're taking it out on you.
Here's another evil tactic that the narcissist uses against you to gain control of every situation and to continue to further abuse you. What is it? The silent treatment. I've mentioned or talked about the silent treatment before, but the silent treatment is something that is a deliberate, manipulative tactic that the narcissist creates to create a void in their victim. All right? The narcissist uses the silent treatment to make you feel unimportant, make you feel like you don't exist, make you feel like you are irrelevant, and they know that it hurts you because all you want to do is resolve, get to a resolution, get to a peaceful place and be kumbaya, right? The narcissist has you in a constant fight or flight state, and they know that with the silent treatment, they can top it off and they can just hurt you and cut you more. So they use that to get under your skin. The silent treatment is a really, really evil tool, and this is the narcissist's favorite tool to use. And guess what? The narcissist hates silence. They hate it when you give them the silent treatment. They hate it when you make them feel irrelevant. They know how much it hurts. They know how painful it is for someone you care about, love, and just want to talk to and be with. They know how painful it is when that person is not giving you that love and affection and at least talking to you. They know how painful it is. This is why they will be the first to use it on you, because they know how much it can hurt you. All right? So the silent treatment is not by mistake. It's not because they are trying to get control of the situation. Nah, it's to punish you. They know how painful being treated that way is. This is why I tell you guys, when you get away from the narcissist, go ghost and stay silent. Give them the silent treatment and no contact, because that is the only thing that really, really hurts the narcissist. And because it hurts the narcissist so much, they also know the power that silence has. They know the power and the pain and anguish that silence can cause. And this is why they'll be the first person to use it on you. The narcissist can use the silent treatment on you for one day, or they can use it indefinitely. It just depends on the situation. This is when they'll go ghost all of a sudden. They'll suddenly ghost you and never talk to you again, and you never hear from them. That is their way of gaining control of you, your emotions, and the situation. If you live with a narcissist, they'll go silent or give you the silent treatment to, again, gain control of you, gain control of the situation, and also feel powerful because they know that you want nothing else but to have that connection with them again. This is the same person who told you that they were going to give you the world. This is the same person who made you feel so loved, the best love you've ever felt. This is the same person who put you on the highest of high pedestal, and now they just jerked it out from under you with the silent treatment. It hurts like crazy, and they know that it hurts. That is why they're using it on you. So if this gives you any kind of peace, don't take their silent treatments personal. When they give you silent treatment, give it back. When they go quiet. But also work in your mind that this is part of their abuse process. This is part of their abuse cycle. So don't let it bother you so much, because this is something by design. This is something they do on purpose to make you feel irrelevant, to make you feel hurt, and to make you feel powerless, so that they, on the other hand, can gain power, gain control, and feel better about themselves. Stay woke.
Hi, I'm a typical narcissist. Okay, let's hear it. My favorite manipulation tactic is called triangulation. Basically, triangulation is a psychological kind of threesome that you didn't sign up for. A psychological threesome? Yes, I use a third person as a weapon against you to create chaos, insecurity, and jealousy. Can you give me an example? Sure. Remember last week when I kept comparing you to my ex, as if you two were in some kind of competition? Yeah? Well, that was designed for you to feel really bad about yourself while also hating her. I see, so you did this on purpose. Yes. That's awful.
The narcissist uses triangulation, which is a strategy where they get other people involved to control you. And so basically, when you start to get strong and you start to resist what the narcissist narrative is, you start to resist what they're telling you, because you're starting to think for yourself, and you're starting to think, maybe this person doesn't have my best interest in mind. Then they will get somebody you admire. It could be a pastor, it could be one of your friends, it could be somebody in your family. And what they'll do is they'll poison that person against you. And they'll present half-truths. And they'll convince this person of half-truths in order to get that person to confront you directly, to talk to you directly, and in some way try to influence you to do what it is that the narcissist wants you to do. It could be buying them a house, buying them a pool. It could be, investing money in a certain thing. Whatever it is the narcissist wants you to do, they're going to use this other person, this third party, this person you admire or respect or look up to, in order to maneuver you into the position that they themselves are no longer able to maneuver you in. And if it doesn't work for them to get the person to talk to you, confront you, influence you directly, then what they'll do is they will tell you what that person said about you. But they'll present it in such a way to where you have the impression that the third party came up with those things on their own, that the third party was talking about you and it was their own opinion, and that the narcissist really did not have anything to do with what the third party was saying about you. And that's the impression that they want you to have. They want you to have the impression that everybody in your circle is talking about you, is worried about you. They're all concerned about the choices that you're making. And they want you to have the impression that if you're not doing the things that the narcissists themselves want you to do, then those third parties, all of those people who have their eyes on you, are going to start to judge you, think negatively of you, and criticize you. And so what happens is you start to feel desperate. You start to feel insecure. You start to feel like you don't have control of your own narrative. And when you are in the thick of this and you are still trauma bonded and you still believe the lie that the narcissist has your best interests at heart and you still love this person, then you will even fall into the trap of trying to convince the narcissist to speak on your behalf to these people. But the whole thing that you miss is that the narcissist themselves is the one that planted the lie in those people's mind in the first place. They're the ones that went to those people with half-truths, who twisted, bent, and manipulated the truth in order to try to exercise unrighteous dominion over you, to try to exercise control and to coerce you into doing what it is that they themselves wanted you to do. And so this triangulation that they do is very damaging to you, because it impacts the relationships that you have with the people in your circle. It poisons your mind against them, the people in your circle, and it isolates you because it starts to make you feel like people don't understand you, people don't get you, people are seeing you in a negative light. And that insecurity makes you want to distance yourself from people. And that's how the narcissist sifts you as wheat, separates you, gets you isolated, and then controls the narrative around you so that they can gain more power and control over you.
Thank you for flying with me today, butterflies. We've exposed the subtle traps and psychological warfare used by narcissists to keep you doubting your worth. I know these tactics all too well. The charm that masked the cruelty, the blame that buried my voice, the love that left me empty. But awareness is your superpower. When you understand the game, you stop playing it. Sacred reflection. What lies did you accept as love? And what truth are you ready to reclaim? And if any part of this feels familiar, remember, you are not alone. You are not weak. You are not broken. You are becoming. I'm Goddess, your Narc survivor. And if this message touched your spirit, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share this light. You never know who's ready to rise next. Until next time, stay aware, stay sovereign, and keep rising, Radiant One.
I'm a survivor, I'm not gonna give up, I'm not gonna stop, I'm gonna work harder. I'm a survivor, I'm gonna make it, I will survive, keep on surviving. I'm a survivor.